welcome to Torch Hours. I have been getting the most out of summer and I hope that you have been as well. There has been so much hiking from my side and I have so much hiking to catch up on. I think I've just been held back because I'm trying to finish the West Coast Trail series before I get into my backlog of Bruce Trail hikes. Besides all of the Bruce Trail hiking that I'm doing, I also have completed my Can Sail 1 and 2. I've had many adventures in that class and can't believe that I thought learning in a Great Lake was a good idea. It provided some extra challenges and I guess it has given me more experience for different kinds of conditions. Here's a little video from our capsizing exercise that we had to do.
Okay. If it's behind a big boat, it'll just do that and then the rope will break.
Oh, look at all that ice.
I realize I need to work on. I don't want to go to strength. Pull my ass up.
You passed, right? That's the most important thing.
When you guys go for the capsize, I want you to hold on to the boat just a little longer than they did.
Hold?
Yeah, at first, but then
Get it over.
Okay.
Oh, to make sure that it goes over.
Great, you want to push us off?
Isn't that funny how it feels so nice?
I feel so good.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Ready? Side, my side? Yeah, your side.
And really.
But you know what? When we're not trying, we're really good at getting there. Woohoo! Good capsize! That's going to be my story. That's what I'm telling people. We're so good, we couldn't even capsize.
It's just two in control.
These two weigh like 30 pounds. Oh, look at you guys. Go, girl! Woo! Woo! Woo!
30 pounds for you.
Very nice, yeah. 30 strong pounds. Right? They did. I think they got it over quicker than we did. Not that it's a contest, but they're little, so it wasn't.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa.
Shyla, woo!
That was
Great.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's a little sailor.
Oh, yeah.
That was Go, Jackie! You got this! You got this! Woo! You guys are awesome.
Head first.
Woo!
And now am able to practice sailing on dinghies and maybe feel a little bit braver by the end of the summer to try taking my boat out if I can make sure that all of the things I need to do on the boat are complete. Progress on the boat has been going pretty well. I have been able to hook up the electrical with a friend. We just clamped, what do you call this? Oh, I did a terrible job! And make sure all of the lights are working. Okay, let's see how it looks when you turn it on.
Cabin light.
Sure, let's do the... Nice!
On off.
Yeah.
Bilge.
We can't hear it, but
Yeah,
that's there.
yeah. If there's water there. And
Okay.
the running lights.
Sweet, which we just checked,
Yeah,
so we're
and then-
good.
Then we need just the masthead.
Yeah, we're gonna check that out next. Excellent. Voila, we have lights. And I started rigging the boat. We've got the boom set up, the mainsail set up, the jib set up. We just have to test the motor and fix the anchor. What else? Back in the winter, I took a poetry class. I do like to dabble in poetry, and some of that poetry from myself and my classmates will be published in a small zine on July 17th. I have a copy, but because it's not the 17th, I don't think I should share it yet. Let's see, I'm sitting right now in my postage stamp of a small yard and admiring some lovely looking raspberries that I'm going to have to pick after this video sesh. So what are you up to this summer? Anything exciting? Any fun trails? They don't have to be on the Bruce Trail that you are planning to do or want to do. I would love to hear about those. Well, I'm doing this last segment of the West Coast Trail without a script, so bear with me. Our last day was on August 8th, 2023, from Thrasher Cove to the Trailhead in Port Renfrew or Gordon River. Like all the other ones, we're the first camp to get up and get a start on the day, and it took us about 2 hours to get ready. I would say that my day started off with a wake-up call. I got up and needed to use the outhouse. It was still very, very dark. A few campers had set up their tents on the way to the beach trail to the outhouse. So there are all these guy lines, and I thought, what if I tripped and then I'd end up waking up a whole bunch of campers in the camp? So there's a back trail that starts near where we set up our tents, and I went up through into the trees. There was a couple of tents, and I quietly went by those tents. Just as I was about to round the corner to the outhouses, I heard a very low, deep growl coming from the bushes, from an animal that was a large animal, because the sound was not low to the ground. Was it a bear? Was it a wolf? Someone told me there are a lot of wolves in Thrasher Cove. I don't know, because I just very quickly backed up, not quickly, if you know what I mean, because you don't want to draw attention, but I backed up facing the noise and made my way backwards to the tents, then backwards to my site. Anyways, it's still a mystery. I have no idea what growled at me, and I'm just happy that nothing attacked me. It's hard to believe that I only need to show you the small area of this massive, massive map. Here's Thrasher Cove, and this is the 1 kilometer of big tree energy that you require to get up to the 70-kilometer mark. This is where the highest point is on the trail. There's a derelict donkey engine here. There's lots of great big trees here, and eventually you make it to your trailhead and wait for the ferry, which will take you across. And then you can check in at the National Park office. And if you're camping, you can check in there and set up and enjoy some lovely showers. And Port Renfrew is a short walk away, and you might be able to get a taxi if you ask at the office. They can give you a number. But hey, what's a few more kilometers into town? This segment from Thrasher Cove to the trailhead at Gordon River is the only day that you don't need to worry about tides. Enjoy. We didn't take a ton of photos on this segment of the trail, and this is in part to the difficulty and the need for using our hands. Leaving or entering Thrasher Cove on the south end, non-beach access, is something to experience and very, very hard to describe. Make sure that if it's your time in the morning to go up the ladders, that you had a good breakfast and your coffee, because you're going to need it. The rest of the trail from there southbound is also extremely challenging. It's just, on this segment, you're gonna reach the highest point on the trail. Even after that first kilometer, there is still a lot of ascent. There were more wasp hazards, and we came across I think we were still halfway through that segment, and this young woman in front of us with her mother got stung. She was a trooper. She made it through. She really didn't fuss, but it was obvious that it was quite painful. There are some incredible trees. I think the trees here were maybe my favorite. You just suddenly get a feeling of, you get that feeling of being small again. We did get a little lost at one point. We were just chatting and checking out our scenery, and totally missed our turnoff. It was deep brush. There was like a broken bridge just before you go back up, or I think we still hadn't reached the highest point yet. And we were just going around what looked like trails, but maybe not. And then we saw these two women that we had been hiking with on the same days, and they were up above us. And then we were able to kind of call out to them and meet up with them. So that was very helpful. We really tried to take our time on this because we knew this was the last day. But we also wanted to make the ferry and just kind of settle into our campsite at Pashidat and enjoy the victories at the Port Renfrew pub. When we got to the end, N had already pulled the ball, yellow marker, up to the top of the ladder, which signals to the ferry that there are people waiting. So at this point, you can go down the ladder and you just have to wait for them to come to you. And when we got down there, we all took our photos. It felt victorious. Ferry came and we got on board and made our way to Gordon River, and then over to the National Park office where we signed in. We were able to book a forest site at Pashidat. The campsite was great. We were able to have showers and head into town. The Port Renfrew pub is a very popular pub for people beginning or ending the hike, usually for ending, I think. And we hung out there for a good long time, and we saw other hikers that we were expecting to end that day come through as well at the Port Renfrew pub. Pashidat campground is a lovely, lovely campground. You can camp in the forest. They've got serviced and unserviced sites, and a beautiful beach campsite that you can just pick a place on the beach, which I stayed at the last time, and just take in the scenery. And you can look back across the bay and know that you're looking at Thrasher Cove and beyond, and take in the part of the trail that you recently completed. The next day, the West Coast Trail bus came and got us. We had pre-booked our return bus ride, and I highly recommend that you do this because it's a little bit more affordable. You're guaranteed a spot on the bus, and it's one less thing to worry about logistically. And that was the end of that. As I alluded way back in episode 1 of or day 0, episode 1 of the West Coast Trail, I had fallen sick, and despite triage, I did need to go to seek medical attention once I got into Qualicum Beach, which I was able to do at the urgent care center, and they took care of me. So both West Coast Trail hikes, I ended up there to be helped. And then once I got my antibiotics, I was able to relax for a couple of days and chill out on a beach with my family, with C, who stayed at my parents with me, and just soak up the rest of the summer vacation. Hopefully you found the series interesting and useful. Maybe it helped you with your own planning of the West Coast Trail or has inspired you to do so. Feel free to reach out to me through YouTube or Instagram, which I'm on more often at Torch Hours. And if you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer them. There is a West Coast Trail Facebook group, which is absolutely wonderful, and I highly recommend you follow that if you're interested. And I do pipe in now and then with my own advice or experience. Thank you to my mom, my dad, and my daughter for their moral support and just helping me get all the things I needed before each hike, dropping me off and picking me up at the West Coast Trail bus terminuses. Thank you, and thank you. I have the biggest gratitude to my hiking companions for loving this trip, being interested in this trip, doing this trip. You guys were amazing. We were such an amazing group of 5, and I'm so happy to have shared this experience with each and every one of you. I'd also like to thank the West Coast Trail bus people. They got all of us to the destination and they got us back. So thank you very, very much for all that you do, because that road is rough. I'd like to give a shout out to the wonderful Ranger Lori at the Gordon River Port Renfrew National Park office. Thanks so much for your kindness and your information and just being your awesome self. Until later, I'll see you on the trail.